Hello, everybody. Lord Magic is here. It's been a minute, hasn't it? Yeah, I don't know. Life has been absolutely just crazy for me the last few weeks. I've had a lot of stuff to deal with that not so great, but it's all right. I'm here. We had a banned and restricted announcement about a week ago. That kind of went about as well as we imagined it would have. So cards got banned in multiple formats. Some cards got unbanned in some formats, so that was kind of interesting. And I don't know if I feel like Merfolk is any better off in any of these formats because of it, but I guess we'll just have to see. But I don't know. And I figured tonight, we'll spend some time on Arena. We haven't done Arena in a while, and I don't know if I've even done Timeless yet, but we're gonna play some Timeless, and we're gonna play a really broken deck. This is like Arena's version of Vintage, so that's what we're gonna do today. Here we go. So the deck that I am going to be playing tonight is Show and Tell. And if any of you have ever, if you played Timeless, you probably have seen this deck. The idea is that you cast Show and Tell, and then you put something into play with it that's really mean and nasty. Sometimes that's Omniscience, that just lets you cast all your spells for free. Sometimes that's Atraxa, where it just, putting a gigantic, scary threat into play that just draws you a bunch of cards. That's often good enough to win on its own. But the other thing is when you have Omniscience out here, you could also then just use Fae of Wishes to instantly win the game. So the trick is that you Show and Tell Omniscience into play, then use Omniscience to cast Granted for 0 mana. You get Enter the Infinite from your sideboard. Then you cast this for free, draw all the cards in your deck, put one back, and then you'll draw another Fae of Wishes, so you Granted, and then you just get Jace, cast Jace, mill yourself, and you win the game. So that is a very common line with this deck in order to win. But like I said, sometimes because we don't have infinite Omniscience, so sometimes you just have to rely on Atraxa being good enough to just get there. So yeah, the idea is basically whatever you're putting into play is going to be better than anything your opponent puts into play, and it should be enough to win. Like the lifelink and the vigilance is enough to stabilize. It having flying and death touch means that like it's basically unblockable for the most part. Like anything that blocks it is going to die, and very very few things are going to be able to actually like kill this. So that's kind of good. The weaknesses of the deck, actually the fair decks for the most part, with especially like the Boros Energy deck. You end up any deck that's playing like Static Prison or Leyline Binding, like those kind of cards that they can put into play. As when you Show and Tell Omniscience into play, you can't just cast your sorcerers normally because you need priority. So if they put something in that has a trigger, like say Static Prison, they can go after your Omniscience before you get to actually cast anything. So the secret to beating that is you need to have Waterlogged Teachings here. So we have 4 copies of this, and we are going to use this to search our deck for this Lord of the Rings card, Borne Upon a Wind. I absolutely detest the fact that this deck requires a Lord of the Rings card in order to actually like function, but it really does. This card super super important to beating the hate. Also, I see Zoe is here. Subscribed with Prime. Thank you. That means you for every stream that I'm doing now for the next month, you're going to get to be in the title card. I'm going to have to make a new title card now. So I appreciate it. I really, really do. But yeah, the idea, in order to beat the hate cards, since they're going to put a trigger in the stack, you can only cast instants in response. So the idea is you cast this for free, search your deck for Borne Upon a Wind, then you cast this, which lets you play all of your spells as though they had flash, and that means while the trigger is on the stack trying to exile your Omniscience, you just cast all your spells anyway. And so you just be faster than them. It does mean that sometimes you need this, like if they have their hate card, you need to have this in order to beat it. Sometimes their aggro is just going to pressure you so much that you don't have time to wait around for this, but that is the counterplay to it. So Other than that, we're just playing a bunch of tutors here. We have Demonic Tutor, which, you know, it restricted to one of, but it's still like ridiculously powerful. It'll find whatever you need. Assemble the team lets you search the top third of your deck, so it will generally find anything you want. Very, very, very rarely does it not find the card that you're looking for. So, because you're gonna have it's gonna look through like usually about 15 to 20 cards, so it'll be there most of the time. Like you're just usually grabbing like either Show and Tell or Omniscience with it, and then that should be good enough. Yeah, and we just round it out with Chrome Moxes because we don't have Ancient Tombs on here, but we do have Chrome Mox, and this theoretically does let you win the game on turn one if you have like the perfect hand, because you can use two Chrome Moxes, a land, and then just Show and Tell Omniscience with the Fae of Wishes. So it is possible to do that. But this also just lets you turn two a lot of times. And yeah, Veil of Summer is your primary way of fighting back against the discard spells. Thoughtseize and Grief are very big in this format. Being on the play is also very huge in this, because again, if they Grief scam you on turn one, like there's very little you can do about it. If you are on the play though, you can often just like play a fetch land, just pass the turn, and then if they try to Grief you, you just Veil in response, and then it does basically nothing to you. So that's how you get around that. But also it's good because it helps you beat the counter spells, because there are other mana drain decks. We have two of these in our deck. I've been very impressed with mana drain. I kind of wish I had a slot for a third one, but it's hard because we are already using basically all the slots we can. We do have Stock Up, which is a new card that's in our deck. For 3 mana, it lets you look at the top 5, and you get to pick whichever 2 you want. If you have Omniscience and your only card to go off with is a Stock Up, that's normally good enough. That's basically as good as Assemble the team here. You'll find whatever card you need in the top 5, even if it's just like another draw spell. This is generally fine. And if you don't have the pieces you need, then you can always like use this to find like Show and Tell and say like Atraxa or something, so you can go off the following turn. There is one Hullbreaker Horror in the deck in case you need to bounce like a hate spell or something. If you can, you know, cast this guy off of your Omniscience, or even just put it into play off Show and Tell, and then just cast like either Brainstorms or Chrome Moxes to get rid of whatever nonsense you're worried about here. Hullbreaker is very good. Yeah. So, or sometimes you don't even have to do that. If you just like cast a bunch of nonsense spells and just bounce all of your opponents' like non-land permanents to their hand, often they'll just concede to that. But this is also a card that you can search for with Waterlogged Teachings. So if you have Omniscience and Waterlogged Teachings, I think this is a payoff that you can find with this, which is nice. This card is also really good to exile to the Chrome Mox. It lets it tap for 2 different colors. Um, the green is basically just a splash for us. Like, we only really need it for Veil and Assemble. But, you know, the black is, again, only really for the tutors. And the tutors are important, but, you know, we have one copy of Dark Ritual. The one Dark Ritual does let us go off like a turn earlier if we need to. Yeah, there's a couple like weird scenarios in which we might want to have the Dark Ritual. Like if we only have like one Fae of Wishes left in the deck, I think the Dark Ritual makes it so that it's still possible to like combo off even with just one Fae of Wishes, because we can use the Chrome Moxes and the Dark Ritual in order to actually cast this from exile, because you can only cast it for free if it's in your hand. So if you use Granted the first time, it'll go into exile. You'll have to actually pay 2 mana and then use 2 more mana to return this back to your hand, so you can use Granted a second time. But like having the extra like mana source here enables some lines where like you lose like 2 of your phase and you want to just win the game. It's nice to do this win condition because you can actually win through the One Ring. A lot of people will just like Show and Tell and put the One Ring into play and think that, okay, well, we can't hurt them at all with it, so they're fine. But no, they are not fine, because we're just going to win the game before it's their turn anyway. And yeah, it does help with that, like I said. So it might not be technically necessary to have all 3 copies of this, but it's another thing where it's like you want this for the consistency. This kind of mirrors the Legacy list a little bit because Legacy Omni-Tell does basically the same thing. You still have like instead of Atraxa, you're looking at like Emrakul and then 1 Atraxa, so and you still have your Omniscience, but instead of Fae of Wishes, they play Cunning Wish because it gives them access to a bunch of stuff in the sideboard. And yeah, you still have like the Veil of Summers and everything, but you don't need Chrome Mox and Legacy because you have Ancient Tomb, which again, with Ancient Tomb and like Lotus Petal, yeah, they also have Lotus Petals too, which would take this slot before, so like you can still turn 1 in that way. You know, it functions mostly the same, but I got this idea from looking at the Legacy list because I'm like, okay, well, we don't have Cunning Wish here, but I mean, granted, does let you win the same turn that you slam Omniscience, so that's pretty fine. I have a couple other cards here just in case, you know, if I ever needed to get rid of something specific. I don't think I've ever once in the entire time that I've been like playing this deck ever actually searched for any of these cards. I've literally only ever gotten the Enter the Infinite into the Jace and just won the game. So these are probably not necessary, and I mean there is a certain percent chance that like having them there makes it more likely to misclick getting Enter the Infinite than it is to actually benefit you at any time. So maybe I should just remove them all except for those 2 cards, but it doesn't technically hurt to be there. They're just options. Probably never going to need them, but you never know. Like, this could technically find, like, Atraxa and, like, another Fae of Wishes or a Hullbreaker Horror or something like that. So who knows, you know? This getting rid of any non-land permanent or, you know, like countering like a stifle here that we can play with our Omniscience is still technically like something we could do. Maybe the real play with this is, I don't know, the problem is that if you're casting granted for actual 4 mana, the spells you want to get to off of it should either win you the game that turn or stop your opponent from winning the game that turn. And like mana's gonna like the game is not gonna usually last to the point where you have that kind of mana, so maybe you want something like Tormod's Crypt in the sideboard to get with this. I don't know. That's the only thing I can reasonably think of that you would want to cast fairly without like Omniscience in play. But again, I've never actually needed to, and I don't anticipate that I'm going to. Because generally, like, if you're searching for something with this, you've pretty much won the game. Because you're just getting this, drawing your deck, and then slamming Jace, and that's fine. Because if they let you resolve Fae of Wishes, then like yeah, you're fine. Like they don't have any interaction. Like if they have interaction, they're gonna do it at the point where you have Show and Tell, or like they're gonna do it like in response to this. Once you actually get a card here, like it's unlikely that they're gonna interact in any capacity. So that's how this deck works. I think it's fun. I'm actually going to be probably playing this in Legacy for the next 1K I'm playing. So I'm trying to get like a little bit more familiar with the Show and Tell vibe. And once I have all my shiny Show and Tell cards in paper, I will post, you know, some pictures of what my deck list looks like. But what part of the reason that I wanted to actually do this is because Show and Tell, you know, it's one of the best stock up decks because this is a deck where you cast stock up and it can find you like both halves of the combo that you need off of 1 card. So this 1 card right here just grabs you like Show and Tell and Atraxa and just wins the game that way. That's what we're up to. So yeah, hopefully we'll enjoy this. Yeah, okay. I always look to see if there's like a pack on sale or something, but not today. So all right. I don't usually. I haven't been playing the ladder with this, but like I guess we may as well, right? We're here doing this. I just usually just jam it for fun because it's just. I find it's a good way to relax. Like I don't take Timeless seriously in any capacity at all. I think this format is very silly. Uh, it desperately needs like Force of Will in it, but as long as it's gonna be like this, we may as well just keep, like, look, this is a very, very good hand. We're going to keep this. I'm probably going to get the I'm probably going to get the Undercity Sewers with this, but I'm not going to crack it until my opponent like does something here. They might play like Deathrite Shaman because this is a Lurrus deck. Maybe we'll Demonic Tutor and find like a Veil of Summer or something. Because okay, so they have Steam Vents here. All right. Okay. So this is like Grixis control, it looks like. So that, yeah, the Veil of Summer might actually matter here. So we have a Breeding Pool in hand already, so we should get the Undercity Sewers. Oops. There we go. So we can get our free Surveil on. Yeah, actually, they're tapped out here. If I just get the Chrome Mox, I win the game right now. This is what I'm talking about. So, Breeding Pool, pay 2 life here. We'll play the Chrome Mox, and we'll just put the Demonic Tutor underneath it, because we're going to slam Omniscience and then slam Fae of Wishes. I think that's what we want, right? I mean, I guess we could put Atraxa here. This is probably a little bit better, because if for some reason some nonsense happens and like show and tell doesn't work out, the Demonic Tutor can find us another one, so... Yeah, Psychic Frog ain't doing shit. So here we go. This is the typical line here. They're tapped out, like there's nothing... I guess they could have Flare of Denial, but it doesn't look like they do, so... Now here's the trick. It doesn't really matter, because, yeah, they just conceded. They're like, yeah, you're gonna draw your deck, we know we've lost. I guess once Omniscience resolves, I could also Demonic Tutor first, just in case they had Flare, but I mean, they would probably Flare the Granted if they had it, so... I mean, in the worst case, like, we could always just tutor and get another threat anyway, so there we go. That's how this works. That's it. We just turn tube them. That's the power of this deck, right? There's other silly decks here, you know, like there's some Charbelcher decks, there's like Balustrade Spy decks that like they can also win the game very quickly, or grief scam you, which is it can be devastating, especially if you're on the draw and you're staring sadly at the Veil of Summer in your hand that can't be cast yet. But it's very, very important to try to represent the Veil of Summer. Like, if you don't have to, if you have a fetch land, wait until their end step, because you might be looking at like Veil of Summer and Brainstorm, but you really, really do not want to. Yeah, you don't want to give them a chance to fuck up here. All right, I think that I'm gonna keep this. I'll play a Waterlogged Teachings. Like, the very worst, this is like a turn 3 show and tell. I mean, they could Thought Seize me here. If they do, like, it's not the end of the world, because we still have stock up that we can cast later to find another thing. Brainstorm's fine, but I'm just gonna put the tapped land into play first. Now, next turn, we'll look, it depends what we draw next turn, because we might cast Brainstorm with the Misty Rainforest to try to find our third land that way. And it's also possible that if we draw like the Chrome Mox again, we could just like win on the spot. Okay, well, it is very, very good for us that they got rid of this Vexing Bauble, because that hard counters Omniscience here. They have a Bloodstained Mire untapped. Okay, I think I am gonna Brainstorm here. And then we will play Misty Rainforest and then just shuffle everything away. That was great. Okay. So let's put Delta and Breeding Pool back. Actually, no, we need to keep a land here. Maybe what did we get rid of here? Maybe just Waterlogged Teachings, right? We'll keep Veil of Summer here. That way. Or actually, we don't need the other Brainstorm. So yeah, we'll get rid of Brainstorm and Breeding Pool. Then we can always Misty and grab the land for the Veil if we need it. I don't think this is gonna matter, but because we are like 99% just getting Hedge Mage if they don't do anything, or if they cast a discard spell on their turn, I will just cast Veil of I'll get the Breeding Pool and then Veil of Summer them. What are they doing? Lightning bolting me? Like surgical extraction. Okay. That doesn't matter to me at all. You can take the Brainstorm. You just shuffled my deck for me. That's fine. They know I have Veil in my hand now, so they gotta be very careful. So if they just pass with open mana, I might even just play Waterlogged Teachings next turn and not bother with the show and tell. Sure. Bolt doesn't matter. They have 3 cards left. Like, if they play another blue source, they could have Mana Drain, or maybe Spell Pierce is something we have to worry about. Okay, Wishclaw Talisman, yeah, that's not going to matter. But, like, if they don't do anything, I'll just get Hedge Mage here. Like, okay, well, they might have a counterspell. They could have Spell Pierce. That's what we're realistically looking at right now. Oh, okay, well, maybe if they have Inquisition plus Pierce, this will work out for them. I'll pay 2 life here. I'm just going to Veil here. Okay, they clearly, they don't. If they had Spell Pierce, they would have actually just did it there, so. Or at least we can tell because it just auto-passed, so we can be very confident they don't have Spell Pierce. Just get a basic island. And show and tell. Go to class. Omniscience. Cast stock up. And they just can see. There we go. This is one of the things I actually don't like about Arena, is that you can tell because Arena auto passes when you don't have interaction up that you can get an idea of when they do and they don't have a counter spell. Like, it's really, really hard to bluff in that regard. Like, I could tell immediately because Arena just passed priority back, like, on the, like, as soon as I cast that Veil, that they didn't have a Spell Pierce, so that meant, like, it was very much safe to just cast Show and Tell on my turn. But it, like, if that was in paper, like, they could have, like, bluffed and hesitated a little bit, like, do I counter this now or do I just let this resolve, you know? I mean, I think that if they had it, they should still do it. They should just cast it there because then Inquisition can take Show and Tell, but then that risks me drawing another one, so you never know. But Arena basically just tells me that's not something to worry about. I get to go first, and this is a turn 2 Atraxa. That's probably good enough. So I'll play Misty, and I will pass. I'm not going to play the Chrome Mox just yet. There's no reason to, but playing the Chrome Mox basically just tells them what I'm doing right now. I will get the Hedge Maze. Horror is not bad either, actually. No, I gotta put it in the graveyard because if something happens to this show and tell, I really want there to be another one. Yes, yeah. We'll put an Atraxa underneath here, and then we'll just hope that they don't have like Leyline Binding or something. I guess they could have like Swords to Plowshares. Right? This is a Hollowed Fountain deck, so you never know. But ideally, Atraxa is just gonna draw us enough stuff where we don't care. Assemble the team is not bad. Guess I don't really want to draw the Mystic Sanctuary. I guess Waterlogged Teachings is the only one of those we can get. So what? We just get like Watery Grave, I guess, and then we are. I'm gonna get the Grave here. I think that's probably the play. Assemble the team. There's a good chance that if I can use this to find another show and tell. It's probably slightly better than stock up. Okay, I mean, Tameo plus swords. All right, sure. But I mean, look, it just drew me like 4 cards, and I'm still in pretty good position, so. I haven't played a land yet. I mean, I guess technically if I draw another show and tell, I could actually just win the game right now, so. There we go. They definitely have Flare of Denial, though. I have to be super concerned about that. I'll put the Fae of Wishes under here. Because if for some fucking reason they decide that they want to let show and tell resolve here, if I get Omniscience in play, I can use this to find anything I want. Okay. So next turn, if I don't find another show and tell, what I can do is I can just Misty Rainforest for the mystical sanctuary, right? The island. We'll just put show and tell back on top of our deck. So turn 5, we'll try again. +1 here. All right, so all right, I guess like I could search for something with this, but I don't think. I guess I could search for Veil of Summer. Like that's an option. I guess I should do this now. Or even Mana Drain here is actually not a bad choice, so. So I do have the mana to cast it. Yeah, I think I want Mana Drain. I mean, let's pretend that they do something really dumb next turn and I just Mana Drain it for like 1,000,000. I could maybe cast this Omniscience, who knows. Mana's not really a choke point for me at the moment. The goal is I really just want... I know that I'm going to draw a show and tell next turn. They're going to get Flare of Denial, sure. I mean, they need it, so... I don't think I care about this. They're going to take Brainstorm. Okay, sure. Honestly, I just need to get Omniscience in play. Hopefully from there, that's just good enough. Then I'll just draw something, win. I don't think I actually care about that. Alright, my life total's not important here, but show and tell definitely is. Actually, I probably should do this in my second main phase. Because there's some chance that maybe I would want to use this mana the turn afterwards. Alright, they had Mana Drain. Alright, well, if they have 2 counter spells, then I can't beat that. We just have to try. Alright. No, get out of here, bot. You're banned. we're probably lost from here. Like they've stabilized. They needed to have like what we made them have like 3 answers, and they did have 3 answers. They had swords, mana drain, and flare. Like it's, I mean, maybe depending on what we draw next turn, but like yeah, they're gonna get so many cards at this point that it's probably not possible for us to win. So. No, I think we can safely give up here. I don't even think there's anything worth finding with this. Yeah, we're just gonna concede. I don't think that there's any likely chance that we're defeating them having like 2 Tamios on board with like having just drawn 3 cards off of Treasure Cruise, so no, I mean that's kind of what we do as a deck. We just take our shot and then reload, and then if we're lucky, we get a 3rd chance, and then if we don't get it by like the 3rd try, it's not happening. So okay, so this hand is close. So we get to cast Stock Up on turn 2. Opponent is another Luris deck, so they could be like Sultai, or they could be Grixis. They're keeping 7 cards. I kind of think I'm supposed to keep this. I mean, if we just rip Show and Tell, then this is a good turn 2, so... Otherwise, we're just going to probably play Teachings in turn 1. Okay, Death Rate, sure. That doesn't really concern me. Both of these come into play tapped. I may as well play the actual island. That is not a bad one. I think I actually want that. Okay. Do you not have another land? Did you keep a 1-land hand here, opponent? Well, they got rid of a Thoughtseize, so... they do have another land. Okay. I guess now, like, if they Thoughtseize me, it doesn't matter. They could take the Chrome Mox, I guess, but that seems pretty bad for them, so... They know I'm going to draw Stock Up. Sure. Okay, that's fine. They probably don't expect that I'm going to cast it next turn, but they know I'm going to have it. And I think I'm going to put Atraxa under here because I want to have the green mana in case I have a Veil later, or in case I draw our tutor. Another channeler. Okay. A2 life, play the Chrome Mox. Get rid of Atraxa. We'll play the Stock Up. Alright, we do find Show and Tell, and we already have a Waterlogged Teachings, so we probably don't need it. It might be better to just have another land here in case something bad happens to our Chrome Mox. So I guess I will take the Misty Rainforest. I can always find our Hedge Maze. Okay, Death Shadow. They literally just cast it to make their channelers bigger. Sure. Okay. Is there any reason to play this first? They could have Spell Pierce. If they have Spell Pierce, I don't really have a good way to play around. I'm dying in 2 turns. I think I just need to hope that they don't. Alright. Oh, they have Spell Pierce. I can feel it. Yep. No, okay. That's fine. That's great. That's not really relevant to me here. Alright. Yeah, because so now here's the cool thing. Now that I have Omniscience in play and the Hullbreaker Horror, the trick here is that I can actually. Oh, fuck. All right. Well, the idea is that since I have Horror in play, every time I cast a spell, I get to bounce one of their permanents. So I can just use Teachings to find Teachings to find Teachings to find Teachings to then find another spell like Brainstorm, and basically just bounce their entire board. So even if that was the only thing I cast that turn, like that would still be winning because they would have literally nothing in play. So these are the lines. Gotta know them. We are up against Cat Dog 8. All right, they're going first. I think this is a mulligan. It doesn't have any kind of card draw at all. We don't really want Sanctuary in our opening hand, and like again, we don't really want the both Fae of Wishes here either. So this is kind of like a really bad hand. So this is much better, I think. Pretty sure we just keep this and get rid of a breeding pool. All right. Brainstorm can hopefully help us find Show and Tell. All right, Hollowed Fountain. What are we doing here? Authority of the Councils. That is a card that is there specifically for Boros, and frankly, we do not really care about that. I'll put Misty in play, since I'm probably not going to cast Brainstorm right now. I'm actually just going to get the Undercity Sewers, so we have our black mana in case we find a tutor. And I'm going to let us surveil one. Stock Up is great. We're going to keep that. I think that I don't really need to take damage from this turn. Actually, I am kind of inclined to just put Brainstorm. Yeah, they obviously... Okay, so they don't have anything with this, so put Brainstorm underneath this. Play that. I'll just cast Stock Up. Demonic Tutor is pretty good here, and... Do I want another land? I have 3 lands already, like... What is helpful to me at this point? I guess having the fetch land if we find Show and Tell means that I can get the Sanctuary to put it back on top of the deck. So this is kind of an insurance plan. I mean, if I take the Dark Ritual, okay, well we just ripped it anyway. So what I can do here is just like they didn't do anything. I could just Demonic Tutor for like Veil of Summer. If they have Mana Drain, I want them to use it on this and not my Show and Tell. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll just put this into play tapped and pass. See, and then we still have the potential opportunity of either drawing Mana Drain or Veil of Summer next turn. And the other thing is that if we play Show and Tell and it doesn't resolve, then we can just play the Polluted Delta fetch for the island or the Sanctuary, and then we'll get to try again next turn. Oh, never mind. All right. If that's all they have, oh well, then yeah, Fae of Wishes does it right here. So all right, we win. Okay, good job, opponent. Do you have? They have nothing. Okay. Alright, good. Draw the cards. Just put anything back in the deck. Look for another Fae of Wishes. Get Jace. I mean, once we have all these cards in it, like we have you know, Veils and mana drained. So there we go. We win. There you go. So there you go. That's how the Enter the Infinite line works. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. There's nothing to it. There we go. Yatta. See, we're having fun here. This deck is very, very good. It's definitely one of the top tier timeless decks, I think, at the moment. Show and Tell is very powerful. It's one of those cards that is always going to be powerful. It may not always be the best thing to do, but it will never be an irrelevant thing to do. As long as they keep printing more busted permanents to put into play with it, it's going to be just absurd. So, because you can easily ramp it out early, just dump a giant fatty in play, and then protect it with counter magic. This is a very tempting hand. Like, if I had one more land, this would be an absolute keep. The problem, like, even if I had a fetch land instead of this island, I would strongly consider it because I have the Veil of Summer, but I can't keep it with just one island. This is so much better. We're definitely going to keep this. I think we're putting the Hedge Maze in the deck. We're probably going to put the Brainstorm under the Chrome Mox and then play the Misty. That way we have access to mana drain, I think. Hopefully that will be good enough for now. And then if we don't need to use it, we'll fetch for the Hedge Maze. Okay. Play the Misty, play this. I mean, you could also make an argument to put Assemble under here, but yeah, if they like try to Thought Seize me, I'll just mana drain it now. Or actually, that's probably worth hitting too. Yeah, okay. I don't want Ragavan like dealing me a whole bunch of damage. Okay. May as well just get Show and Tell, I guess. Pass. We were sadly 1 mana short of being able to cast the Show and Tell there, but okay. Go to class. Alright, what do you got, opponent? Alright, just let's hope that they don't have the static binding. Oh, if it's just Bowmasters, yeah, we're fine. Alright. Stock Up does not actually draw cards, so this is not going to hurt us at all. I guess Veil of Summer Brainstorm? Cast the Brainstorm. I guess that and Atraxa, right? Because I can just cast the Veil plus the Fae of Wishes. Yeah, so now we'll just cast the Veil of Summer. We'll just counter this effect. Cast the Granted. Get the Enter the Infinite. They cannot target us with this, so we can just draw our deck here and with impunity. Yep, and there's the concession. Beautiful. Easy. Nothing to it. It's like, this deck is like a puzzle. Like, you have to figure out, like, okay, you start with, like, some of the pieces, and you have to figure out, okay, how do I get the remaining pieces I need, and what if my opponent has like one or like a particular like hate piece? Like, how do I beat Orcish Bowmasters? Like, can I find the Veil of Summer to turn it off, or can I find, you know, like the Waterlogged Teachings in order to beat stuff like the Static Prisons? You know, anything like that. You know, it's just a matter of like, okay, how do you navigate this puzzle? But once you have the pieces in place, like, yeah, it's over. And this is such a fast deck too. It's nice. I am definitely gonna keep this hand. Yeah. Okay, so here my only problem is I can't cast Stock Up on turn 2, but I think I have to keep it anyway. It's just too powerful not to. All right, we're up against Borne, so play this. Play the Chrome Mox. The Veil of Summer is not going to matter here, so, and it will let us cast Assemble next turn if we need to. I mean, I don't think this is worth countering. I'm gonna have to take like another 2 damage just to counter it, so I don't think I'm gonna do that. Because I really want to counter this thing. Alright, this is actually worth countering though. I will gladly like deny them the extra cards here. Cast the we'll get the Watery Grave. What? Oh fuck, that's right. I screwed up. Oh my god. I messed up because I totally forgot that the Chrome Mox I needed to put a stock up under here. Oh wow, that's such a blunder. All right, show and tell, I guess. What am I doing? I put the wrong card under there for mana drain, and I just gave them the extra cards with that. I mean, I'm probably dead now anyway. Like, I have to like win this turn or it's over. It's not impossible, but it's not. We'll see. Well, that's it. Yeah, they got me. Okay. I mean, yeah, if I hadn't, like, if I had realized my mistake there and didn't take the extra 2 damage, it was possible. I could, like, brainstorm into a land plus Omniscience, show and tell it, stock up my way to victory, so I could, yeah, that was a punt. Yeah, we gotta be careful. I just, like, I looked at the Veil and I'm like, oh, this card is completely useless in this match. I may as well throw it away to Chrome Mox, right? Because at least it does something then. And then I totally neglected the fact that, like, it doesn't actually cast the mana drain that I want it to cast. So, whoopsies. All right. I'm not a huge fan of this hand. Like, this is not a card I want in my opening hand. Usually this one isn't either. Um, I only have one actual land. Like, I guess this I have two. Like, I don't think this is good. I think this is a much better hand. Yeah, I think I like this a lot better. We'll keep this. Put this in the bottom. Because then we Chrome Mox and then Misty and then have mana drain up. We're going to get rid of the Borne Upon a Wind here and just hope that we don't need it for this matchup. So, I mean, usually if you have the mana drain, then it's not that important, but we'll see. Okay. So I have to get the Undercity so I can cast the Demonic. Yeah, I want another fetch land for sure. All right, do you have a Spell Pierce? No, they do not. Okay. So let's get Show and Tell. That's plus. That only leaves us one card away from winning here. We can surveil in, hopefully, we have, yeah, it's easier to surveil into so something to win the game with show and tell, because there's like 9 cards that we can find versus just trying to find show and tell with this. So we'll definitely get the Hedge Maze. All right. We're just. I don't think they have a discard spell, because if they did, they probably would have used it in turn 1. It's very, very risky not to use like Thoughtseize in turn 1 if you have it, because they were on the play, right? So, or no, we were on the play. Never mind. So this is what they were. They could have been afraid of a counter spell, I guess. I still think even then you have to Thoughtseize in turn 1. Like, there's no way. Them getting this in turn 1 means they don't have this spell, so they might be digging for one with Brainstorm now, but I feel relatively okay. Okay. Okay, that's good. I am probably not going to go off this turn. Even if I find something, it wouldn't really help me. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait a turn. I'm gonna hopefully just, again, if I can find another land that lets me do show and tell plus mana drain, or if they try to tap out in their turn for something, I can just mana drain that and then go off on my turn. They might also try to just be trying to show and tell themselves right now. Okay. I think we're up against the mirror here. No, we're definitely not doing that, opponent. Hmm. See, like, this really screams to me that they have, like, they have mana drain. I think that my best thing to do here is do nothing. Because if they have show and tell, I still get to put my Atraxa in off their show and tell. And then if they do nothing, I can try to bait out the mana drain by casting Waterlogged Teachings, going for Veil of Summer. Island cycling. Okay, that's fine. Lorien is certainly a fine card you can have in these lists if you want. It can replace Teachings. Okay. I mean, that's also a fine island if they're just looking to get value. Put Lorien back on top, I imagine. No, they put Thoughtseize back on top. Okay. They're going to cast the Thoughtseize, I guess. Which means they are going to take my show and tell here. Now, more likely, if they're more than likely, they're going to Thoughtseize away my Atraxa so that they can then play their own thing. So. Okay, well, so here's the thing. I have to wait until their end step now, because if they take Atraxa, I have to cycle. I have to get Hullbreacher with the Waterlogged Teachings now. I need to have a threat, and that's probably my best hope, because they're still holding up mana drain, so they're not going to give me that opportunity here. All right. This still looks like mana drain to me. I think I kind of have to do it. They have so many more cards than me that, like, I don't have a choice not to. All right, Atraxa, get the job done for me, please. Yeah, I figured they probably had Omniscience here, but, like, what are you gonna do? They have the Borne naturally in their hand, so they can just combo off right now, so... Alright, yeah, they've got it from here. Dig Through Time is definitely gonna find them the card they want, so... I don't know, they had more... They just had, like, a better hand than us the entire game, like... They were strongly representing that they had counter magic, and, like, them having, the discard spells and us being on a mulligan. Yeah, this just made it difficult. The show and tell mirror is, like, so weird because you really can't afford to, like, you've got to be very careful about, like, playing your actual show and tell. Your opponent is very likely just going to put Omniscience in play and then try to Borne so that they can win in response. This is a fucking excellent hand. I'm going to keep this. We will play the Polluted Delta. We are protected from discard spells here. And we have our turn 3 combo, unless we find, like, Chrome Mox, I guess. Alright. I guess technically Dark Ritual would also work if we found that. With the Hedge Maze here. I don't need that. Did I just say about not needing that? We'll put that in play tapped and we'll pass. Turn 3, we're just going to jam Omniscience and then hope that Stock Up finds what we need. Okay. If you're not doing anything? Okay, Channeler, sure. I'm not worried about Channelers. Alright. Go to class. That doesn't actually matter. That is irrelevant, yeah. They deal 3 damage to me, and then I'm just going to cast Stock Up and just combo off from there, so... Like, the fair decks always come down to, like, do you have Static Prison in your hand at the time, like, in the first, like, 3 turns or not? If they don't have Static Prison, they, like, 99% lose. But if they have Thoughtseize that they can rip a card from my hand, or if they have the Static Prison, then they're much more likely to win. Yeah, I was looking to see where Butters is. He's over there by the arcade machine, just taking a nap in the chair. Oh yeah, you may have seen the adventures of Butters, the orange cat, on my shorts feed here. I think I'm gonna keep this. I mean, we're turn 2 slamming Omniscience, so we'll just play Misty and pass. Just hope that they don't have Thoughtseize. That's pretty much it. They might. I mean, if they do, so be it. If they don't have Thoughtseize in turn 1, like, okay, then yeah, we basically just win this game. We'll just get Undercity Sewers. I shouldn't need that here. Chrome Mox. We'll get rid of a Fae of Wishes. That's fine. Go to class. That doesn't do anything. Yeah, they just can see. Yeah. Atraxa drawing me like a bajillion cards with Omniscience in play is sufficient, so. Okay. Alright, just about an hour here. I think we'll try to get to our 15th win and then we'll call it. That'll be a good stopping point, probably. Around then. It's not too much longer, but You can see the games with this are they're fairly short. Yeah, it's not too hard to play. We're jamming in the best of 1 queue, so kind of surprised we haven't gotten grief scammed yet. Getting grief scammed in this format is like one of the worst feelings ever. Especially when they followed up with sacrifice to add 4 mana and then just like cast their Balustrade Spy. Sometimes show and tell backfires and your opponent has like I actually kind of want to keep this. I mean, we have Mana Drain and Veil of Summer here. I think this is worth keeping because we're protected from a lot of nonsense. Like, they're not gonna Thoughtseize me here. Get Hedge Maze. We have an Atraxa, so all we need is a show and tell. So we're just trying to find our way into one of them. I actually maybe should keep the Misty here because it can find me Undercity Sewers if I need it. It'll put me a card closer. What is going on? Why is there a pause in my turn? Do they have Surgical Extraction, maybe? That could be. If you want to surgical my Misty Rainforest, so be it. Okay. They like I guess that yeah, it makes sense. If they believe that like there's another Misty here that, you know, surgical might make sense, but okay, so go ahead, Void. I'm not sure what deck we're facing here. This could be like an affinity deck, but I don't know. That okay, I'm not worried about that at all. Scry another one here. This will give us another look to see if we can find on the top. That is a great card. We're going to definitely take that. Interesting. Pay 2 life, stock up. I will take Assemble the Team, and probably Brainstorm is not a terrible card to have here. Okay, Hedron Archive away. Let's cast Brainstorm, see what we can find. Ooh, okay. I haven't played a land yet. I don't need 2 Veil of Summer. I don't think I'm going to need the Veil of Summers at all. I don't think my opponent has anything that's going to matter for these. So we can probably safely get rid of those. May as well. I mean, I still have stock up here. It's a question of, do I want to cast it? I actually know if I do. I don't think so. I think I'm going to decline this. I think what we want to do now is just play the Chrome Mox. We'll put Dark Ritual underneath it. We'll cast Assemble the Team, and then we can hold up Mana Drain. And then hopefully that will be good enough to get there next turn. Actually, maybe I'll put Brainstorm underneath it. Because there's always some chance that I might want to actually use the Dark Ritual. Thinking. Go ritual stock up. Still have mana. Like, I can stock up and then still have a chance to find, like, show and tell. So, like, it gives me the option. It gives me a better chance at finding, like, Omniscience or something. So, yeah, I think actually we're going to get rid of Brainstorm. Okay, and then can cast Assemble the Team here. Try to find our show and tell. We did not find it, so kind of sucks. But we do see Brainstorm here, so if they don't do anything at the end of their turn, I can cast the Brainstorm, right? I could take the Omniscience, but then I'm really, yeah, like I need to have a threat. Like that's really it. I have to find, like I have Atraxa right now, which is not like the best threat, but it's still probably better than nothing. Taking Omniscience and failing to find show and tell is probably just death. So I need, if they don't do anything this turn that I'm gonna mana drain, I definitely need to cast this Brainstorm. See if I can find show and tell, and then we can decide what we're doing from there. Okay. Opponent is not sure what they're doing with this Mind Stone. They have some 1-mana interaction in their hand, but I can't tell what it is, so. I mean, they could cast Eugene the Spirit Dragon now, right? I think. Something like that. Ugin the Ineffable is definitely a card that I am interested in casting Mana Drain on. And that's a concession. Alright, cool. I mean, I think we were still in very good shape. Like, on our turn, what? We can cast a Dark Ritual here. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana to go off with. Which means I should be able to cast Stock Up and Brainstorm to try to, like, I get to look at, like, 9 cards on my next turn and try to find the show and tell. And then hopefully that's enough. Like, if I find Omniscience and show and tell, like, that's just going to be the game, so. Plus, the mana drain resolving gives us an extra 6 mana on top of that. It's insane. So there's also some possibility that, like, getting, like, Atraxa plus a Chrome Mox, we might actually just be able to hard cast Atraxa, which would have been crazy. Alright, we need to get one more victory, I think. And I think we'll be good for today. Oh, no, not Merfolcum. I don't want to beat Merfolcum. Fuck. I go first. Probably need to keep this. We just put Fae of Wishes under the Chrome Mox and then have Veil of Summer. Alright, we're protected from discard spells, and then turn 2 we can play Demonic Tutor, find show and tell, and then hopefully from there that's what we just need to find a payoff. So I mean, if our opponent will be kind enough to just waste their turn thought seizing us, that would be great. Can exchange this for a card and waste their just interaction. I mean, they might be thinking about doing that right now. Grief! Yes! This is exactly what I wanted to see here. What did they exile? Alright. Well, I'm definitely going to fail myself here. Alright, we have Omniscience here, so now we just need show and tell and we win. So they can grief scam this thing. They're probably not going to reanimate it right now if they have it, so. Okay, I guess we just win. we just rip it off the top like a fucking Chad. Alright. Easy life. Fury. Cool. All right. See, look at how beautiful. That was a great win to finish with. All right, and even with a rank up, that's perfect. So, yeah, there we go. A great day of Magic cards. All right, there we go. We got our 15 out of here for right now. Oh, yeah. I'm literally making progress on this just by casting Chrome Moxes over and over again. Oh. I think this deck is great. I don't think I've saw a whole lot of show and tell lists here playing the Fae of Wishes package. I really like this for the simple fact that, like, just like in Legacy, like if you have this card in your hand with Omniscience, like you'll just win the game on the spot. So you don't have to like, pass the turn back or anything. Like if you just play the Fae, you just cast Granted and you just win. So it's an extra payoff when you have the Omniscience. Maybe it's a little bit too much, but I've found that it's generally been pretty good. Even when my opponent's like chaining stuff like the One Ring, they think that like I'm just gonna go for Atraxa and they can just like keep playing One Rings or something, and then I won't ever be able to actually hurt them, but they are sadly mistaken because I don't actually need combat damage to win the game. The only thing that the only thing that sucks a little bit is we don't get to play all the Thought Seizes here, so we're just maxed out on Veil of Summers, right? That's pretty much it. I'm just gonna check something quick. So like the regular show and tell list, they have dig through times in their deck instead of stock ups. I think that the stock ups are maybe a little bit better, just because they're more castable without having to rely on the graveyard, so that's kind of nice. The deck, or like the other versions of the deck, do usually play like one Mastermind's Acquisition, which kind of does the same thing as Fae of Wishes. It's either a 4-mana tutor for your deck, or you can search for something outside the game. So, but I only usually see like one copy of that card, so I don't know. Maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not, but I don't know. This feels like this is probably this is correct to me. I enjoy it the way it is here. Like what are they playing that I'm not? I think it's really just the dig through times, but like I think stock up is a pretty acceptable replacement for that. So like maybe an extra dark ritual, but I don't know. I think that Veil of Summer is definitely like the correct card for this deck. It's good protecting your combo from like most of the things that would hurt you, Grief and Thoughtseize and Inquisitions. It also protects you on like your combo turn when you're trying to resolve this, simply by just it's uncounterable. So it's like a spell pierce on your turn. So you just wait to have the extra mana to go off with, and at any given point, if they tap out, like you can just jam it. So. This is my new toy on Arena here. So, oh yeah, my deck only plays 16 lands. I do have 4 of these. I think most of the decks are playing 4 waterlogs. You could play an extra land. I don't know. I don't think I've usually needed the extra land for this. It seems like it's been pretty fine for best of one. Like it's I don't think I need the rest of these sideboard cards, to be honest. I could probably remove these all. Like, the only 2 that matter are Enter the Infinite and Jace. I mean, theoretically, Shared Summons could matter. Theoretically, Sublime Epiphany could matter, but I really, really doubt it. So, yeah, that's it. That's the deck. We might play the Legacy version of this, like, in the next week or two, because like I said, I think it's about a month from now. I have another Legacy 1K coming up, and I kind of want to play Show and Tell for that. So yeah, I'll try to get a little bit of practice in with it, but yeah. I don't know. Timeless is a very degenerate format on Arena, like really, really degenerate. You can expect to see a lot of nonsense decks. There are a lot of like Goblin Charbelcher decks that just they're oops all spells variants. They'll play like Belchers plus Balustrade Spies, and then like they combo by having stuff like what is it? The Dredge card. The one that drains you for 3. I can't remember the name of it. The 4-mana one that when you mill it, it drains your opponent for 3 life. They'll put a World Spine Worm back on top of their deck. And I think there's like a bunch of like Narcomoebas and Prized Amalgams or something like that. So yeah, Balustrade Spy just flips their deck. They just like get a bajillion ways to hurt you, and that's one reason that some people are playing, like Leyline of the Voids. But I don't know. Our plan is basically just be faster than them. So, and it's another reason why like having the Fae of Wishes is nice, because if they're just putting all this stuff into play, they actually need a combat step to kill you. And if you just show and tell Omniscience and you cast Fae of Wishes, it doesn't. Creeping Chill, that's the one. Yeah. If the Creeping Chills don't kill you, it doesn't matter. They're not going to get to attack you because you're just going to win the game before you. Before they ever get a turn. So, all right. Yeah, this is cool. I mean, it's cool to be able to play a format where you actually get to cast mana drains. Like, where else do you get to do that, This is, like, kind of a uniquely powerful format because it exists between, like, Legacy and Vintage level power. Like, you don't have, like, Moxes here, but mana drain's not a Legacy card, and, like, Demonic Tutor is not a Legacy card, so you get some of this stuff here. You get similar archetypes, like Luris Bug, with like Okos and stuff, is actually like a vintage deck, and I have seen it on here too. It's not bad at all. But at the same time, like the Timeless format is missing a lot of answers. Like there's no Wastelands, there's no Force of Wills, and I think that's a huge problem. Actually, I think that this format could hugely benefit from having like Force of Will in it. Because otherwise, it's just going to be degenerate decks like this one that just run over everything, or like Grief decks or Belcher decks. So it's a little rough. The energy deck, I'm kind of happy to see that there are like decks like Boros Energy that can still thrive here. So it's not all just combo, but there's a lot of it. So it's kind of. I guess if it's going to be a degenerate combo format, you may as well play like one of the better degenerate combo decks. So. This is the one that I've been going with. I enjoyed it a lot, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it too. So, I know it's been a little while since we did a stream. We'll get back in the habit of doing some more of them. Like I said, life has just been pretty crazy for me the last couple weeks. I had a death in the family to deal with, a bunch of other stuff going on. But I'm here. I'm not quitting in Magic at all. I'm not like super high on like modern merfolk at the moment or anything like that, but we'll still play Magic cards. I there are other decks that I still enjoy playing too. Like actually I have this one sitting here. I might take this out tomorrow. This is where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Yeah. This is. Oh, I should probably full screen myself for this. Where are we at? OBS here. Yeah. I built the mono blue Belcher deck here with War of Invention, and we got the pre-release Lotus Blooms to play with it. I'm playing the Tameshi version of this. We got our nice retro foil Goblin Charbelchers in this deck. It's not quite a merfolk deck, but it is a mono blue deck, and you get to play a bunch of like free spells in it. You play the Lotus Bloom with Tameshi to make like a bajillion mana, and you just it plays like no actual lands. It's all the modal cards in it, so I don't know. It's fun. I might take this out and play it in paper locally. So I already had like almost all the cards anyway. I only had to get like a couple extra things, so. Yeah, and I think just like Tameshis, because I already had like the Flare of Denials for Fishies anyway, and some of the other stuff it plays like Disrupting Shoal or even like Commandeer, like they're cards that we've bought over the years for Merfolk, so why not? Yeah, so I have like that, like I said, Legacy, I'm looking at like Omni-Tell. Also, I want to play some Pauper too, because I've also been like really interested in the Gruul deck for Pauper, because I think that deck is incredibly powerful. I don't know how High Tide is, if it's going to stand the test of time, because that deck looks really strong and is definitely like a turn 3 to turn 4 combo deck that's hard to interact with sometimes. But I will say that I was able to threaten to kill it with my Gruul ramp deck up by turn 3 attack for 10, turn 4 attack for 10. So that was kind of cool. Being able to actually race a combo deck with the ramp deck is fun. But I don't know. We might play some Pauper in the channel because that format has gone through some interesting changes in the banned and restricted announcement, with High Tide being unbanned in the format and the Prophetic Prism breathing a little bit more life into both Tron and Affinity. So we'll see. But anyway, that's all I've got for today, everybody. So thank you for being here. Once again, thank you to Zoe for subscribing again. I really appreciate that. So everybody, if you want your name to go in the intro to this, then you can always, become a member on the YouTube channel or subscribe to the Twitch channel. And, yeah. And I'm always just cool if you just want to hang out, and that's fine. Just liking the replays is really, really valuable to me too. So thank you for everybody who sticks with me with this. All right. I'll see you again next time. Take it easy, everybody.